You're about to listen to the Weekly Business Hour podcast. I am Rick Schissler, Silver Fox Advisor, your host for the show. The show is broadcast live each Monday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. on irlonestar.com. You can reach me on my Facebook page, The Weekly Business Hour, or by email at rick@irlonestar.com. The Weekly Business Hour is sponsored by Patricia Cooper Insurance Agency, Taylorized PR, Schooley Mitchell with Jerry Polio, and the Silver Fox Advisors. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy the program. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the Weekly Business Hour. This is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox Advisor and the host of the Weekly Business Hour. Hope everyone enjoyed a good holiday with friends and family. How did your business fare during the holidays? This is the week we start a new business year. I encourage you to run a short checklist of 4 things you can do to make sure you and your business are ready for the new year. First, I encourage you to check your inventory, even if you use a computerized, software-driven inventory system, because many times over the holidays, people don't check. They don't check the records. They absolutely don't check stock very accurately because, let's face it, a lot of folks are off, vacations, time off with families, and there's a different attitude in the air, as we know. So check your inventory. Make sure you're ready for the month of January. Second, check in with key vendors. See what their plans are for the new year's. Many times businesses, even like your business, will have a new plan in place for the new year, going to try some new things, maybe a new shipping schedule. Maybe it'll ship quicker, later, you don't know. But make sure that you know what your vendors are doing as far as providing you with product and services. Third, reach out to key customers. I'm always amazed how reluctant we are to reach out to our customers, to talk to our customers, particularly face-to-face or over the phone. Use the good old voice method of communication. I think it's great if you just want to send an email, but reach out and talk to those customers with the idea, wish them a happy new year, and talk to them about how you can serve them better in the coming year with different products or services. Just have a short conversation. Let them know you appreciate their business. It's not a hard thing to do. Again, if nothing else, send them an email. Ask for their comments. But I encourage you, if you have key customers, even in the retail business, if you have key customers or people who just come across your threshold the first week or two of the new year, make it a point to converse with them and ask them how they're doing, wish them a happy new year, and also ask them what else could you put on the shelves that they may like to see you provide. And fourth and final, take another look at the business plan, even if it's my famous one-page business plan. Take a look at it. Make sure you're ready to go. Make sure you're committed to meeting the goals and taking the action steps that you've set forth in your business plan for 2016. If you're a business owner, manager, or you're considering starting your own business, then you're in the right place, because the Weekly Business Hour is where Montgomery County comes to talk about the latest in business news, ideas to improve your business, and to hear from some of our own local business leaders on how they have found success right here in Montgomery County. If you're ready to do business this week, then let's get started with today's show. First, I want to remind you, if you have a comment or a question at any time, please send me an email. You can reach me here at the station at rick@irlonestar.com. So let me hear from you. Be glad to respond to your questions either on or off the air. Now let's check in with Dick here at Lone Star and see what's on tap business-wise for Lone Star in the coming week.
I want to let your listeners know that we're starting a new show on Wednesday. Mark Hader, columnist writer for The Courier, is back with his wife Kay. The show is going to be called Hanging with the Haters every Wednesday at noon, and their first show is going to be this noon. Basically what they're going to be doing, they're going to be doing some fun comedy stuff. It's not your traditional radio show. It's more of an entertainment show, and he wants listeners to come in with an open mind of getting ready to laugh, because they had some scripts. I got to see some of the scripts and some of the jokes, and he's a pretty good writer. If you haven't already read his stuff, he's been writing for The Courier and The Villager and The Woodlands for a while, for a humorous kind of column. Rooftop with Mark Hader. That's on the rooftop. That's the style of his column. But yeah, that's going to be starting at noon every Wednesday with Mark Hader and Kay Hader with Hanging with the Haters.
Well, I would encourage everybody. Mark's coming off the roof to talk to us, so I think that's a great thing. Another fun, entertaining show from here at Lone Star, irlonestar.com.
And I would also like to say note to anyone who's interested in having a show with us, we do have open slots during our talk show hours. And I'm open ears to any type of platform. Right now we're running political platforms every Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings at 9 o'clock for focusing on the politics that's happening in Montgomery County coming up for March elections. So we're moving, we're getting more shows, and I want everyone to know that if you want to start a show, just contact me at dick@irlonestar.com.
Well, thank you, Dick. And that is one of the neat things about the business of community radio. Lone Star is your community radio here in Montgomery County and the surrounding area, and it gives everyone in the community the opportunity to participate. And I encourage you to do so in the coming year, 2016. Well, just a couple of quick news items I'd like to share with you. And one of them I'm very pleased to announce, and this was recognition that was given recently to a longtime Montgomery County foster care supporter. Terry Jaggers, president of Montgomery County CPS and Child Welfare Board, was surprised with a Lifetime Achievement Award at this year's annual Montgomery County CPS Masquerade Ball. Terry has been a tireless worker for a number of years, and I know this firsthand. I had the pleasure of having lunch with her and some other folks a few months ago, got to know her a little bit, and got to know about the work that's being done right here in Montgomery County for foster children. We have a great program here throughout the county, and there's several agencies involved, but in particular, Terry is so devoted to this task. She's been a foster parent, and the idea, as she was quoted in the article that I picked up out of the Courier that was posted on January 2nd by Jay Jordan, is, quote, "We're trying to change the trajectory of the lives of these kids. It takes a lot of people, and those people should be acknowledged. I'm just one." And I think that's important because it is part of the business fabric here in our community that our children are taken care of, that all children are given an opportunity to progress and ultimately enter the business community, so to speak. As I pointed out, Jaggers, a former foster parent, adjunct professor of communications currently at Sam Houston State, and has been advocating even on a legislative level here in Texas for over 15 years. She believes, and I agree with her from what I know, that the foster care system here in Montgomery County shows how to do it right because it's combined the community, the government, and religious organizations all working together to build a better foster care system for those kids that really need some help. The second item of business I want to touch on briefly was an upgrade recently in the Montgomery County Hospital District. The upgrade taking place, spending over $350,000 to the ambulance system. And basically what this system is to make the ambulances more accountable. CEO Randy Johnson said the system, it's a good way to research an accident, such as when an accident started, speed of the ambulance, whatnot. As we know, ambulances are involved in accidents, and accountability is important. They have found things such as failure to maintain following distance, stop sign violations, and guess what, even cell phone distractions. So hold accountable our ambulances, make them safer when they're out there on the road rushing to meet an emergency. And as CEO Johnson said, it makes sure that we're going to a call, that we don't brake too quickly, get too close, reduce the number of accidents and the severity, and meet the need that we're designed for. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break here now. We have a very, very special guest that's able to join us this morning. And so if you'll stay with us, I think you'll enjoy the next segment as a way to really kick off the new year.
Are you planning on growing, expanding, or possibly selling your business? All of these business opportunities require developing strategies and setting goals in order to achieve success. Providing specialized consulting in these and other key business decisions is what Silver Fox Advisors have been doing since 1986. Let us help you today. Call us at 713-343-3718. It might be the most profitable call that you ever make.
Are you paying too much for your personal or business insurance? Patricia Cooper Insurance on FM 1488 and Tamina Road is an independent agency that can shop multiple carriers to find the best rates and coverages to fit your specific needs. Call us today at 281-356-9955. and let us go to work for you. Patricia Cooper Insurance, where our customers are treated like family.
Tailorized PR works exclusively to get your business noticed. Public relations is how others perceive you and your company. By tailorizing the marketing strategy exclusively to your business, your story is told. Tailorized PR services include networking, social media, blogs, press releases, public appearances, and event planning. To learn about Tailorized PR, call Margie Taylor at 936-828-6881 or visit the website at tailorizedpr.com. My business is tailored to yours.
Hello, Montgomery County. I'm Rachel Baldwin with Special Olympics Texas, Area 6. Are you a fan of courage? Are you a fan of determination? Are you a fan of acceptance, grace, and skill? Then you're already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, and/or compete and be a fan of dignity and acceptance. The dedication of our Special Olympics Texas volunteers provides mainstreaming experiences for athletes with intellectual disabilities. You will touch the heart of another person, and it will move you in a meaningful way that lifts the spirit. Please visit the Heart of East Texas Area 6 webpage at www.sotx.org. Also, like us on Facebook to be a fan and be part of Special Olympics Texas.
Running a business is hard. Pressure to maximize profits and minimize loss continue to grow. Schooley Mitchell of Houston can help. Their independent consultants will ensure you are receiving the best communications and credit card processing services at the best prices. Most importantly, their services are completely risk-free. If they don't find savings for you, there is no fee. Contact Schooley Mitchell of Houston today to find out. Call 832-314-1815 or visit their website at schooleymitchell.com/JM Polio.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Weekly Business Hour, and this is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox advisor and host of the Weekly Business Hour. And as I promised as we ended the last segment, we have a great guest joining us today, Dr. John Demartini. Dr. Demartini, if you've never heard of him or read one of his books, is one of the preeminent human behaviorists in the world today. He has given thousands of presentations, symposiums, forums, and public talks on topics designed for humans to realize their maximum innate potential. And I was blessed late last year to hear him speak, came away not only impressed but engaged in what he does. Dr. Demartini, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate you joining us today. I know you have an appearance coming up in Houston shortly, and we'll talk about that. One of the things that I walked away from when I heard you speak was the fact that your ideas seem to be very simple, easy to understand. Why is that so important?
Well, I don't know if I'm always great at doing that. I try my best. If I'm not able to be understood, I'm not going to communicate very well. So I have to make sure that I try to meet the individual needs and values of the people that I'm communicating with. Well, I think if we do that, we make progress. If not, nobody wants to hear me.
Well, I guess what I was kind of aiming at is many times I've gone to lectures, talks, listened to podcasts, whatnot, and particularly in the area that you work in, communication, human behavior, and it seems like a lot of gobbledygook. But with your ideas, I've fully understood where you were coming from, and it really made me want to get out of my seat and go out and learn more, which I did, about what you do, buy a book and read one of your books, and take action because it made a lot of sense. What has driven you really to produce the series of books in this area?
Well, I was born in Houston, Texas, and I had speech problems and learning problems. I ended up barely making it through elementary school, and I eventually failed when I got into junior high and started to go into high school. And I left school, and I was a street kid. And it wasn't until I was 18, almost years old, right a week before my 18th birthday, where I met an inspiring teacher named Paul Bragg. He's the one that initiated Jack Elaine's career. And one night, 1 hour, one man, one message shifted my whole trajectory. And he made me believe that I could someday be intelligent and learn how to read and overcome my learning problems. And ever since then, I set out on a goal to do that, and I haven't wanted to stop since. So I've been on a mission to try to learn everything I can about maximizing human beings. And I was told by Zig Ziglar when I was around 20 years old that if you help other people get what they want to get in life, you get what you want to get in life. And I wanted to do something with my life, so I figured I better help other people do that. I better learn as much as I can to help them.
Yeah, I love that philosophy. In your opinion, and based on obviously lots of experience, lots of research, if there is one thing, what is the main thing that stands in our way of recognizing and realizing our potential?
I think that, as I mentioned in my recent book, The Values Factor, that many people, instead of getting really clear and concise on what it is that's important to them from within, what's really, truly high on their values and really inspiring to them, they will subordinate to the outer influences of individuals or collective society to be what they think they're supposed to be. And they have automatically a brake on and a repression going on that stops them from catapulting themselves into doing something great. And they have to give themselves permission to be themselves. You know, if you try to be a cat when you're a fish, you don't do very well. You got to be yourself. And I think that's the key is finding out what's really, really, really important to you and what your life truly demonstrates is meaningful to you, and structuring and prioritizing your life so you can fulfill it. So you can't wait to get up in the morning and do something that's meaningful.
Well, you know, I think that last comment you made about, you know, get up in the morning and be excited about what I'm going to do today. In fact, I read a brief article where that was one of the comments by the writer who's a teacher who said he couldn't get up. In fact, this morning I read that article where can't wait to get up every morning and go to the classroom and begin my day teaching young people other things. But if I've finally recognized that I'm not where I need to be or want to be and I want to change, can you give us a general idea how we go about recognizing or finding out what it is that we should be?
Well, the first thing I'd say is to, wherever you are, you know, I was told when I was very young, and since I was born on Thanksgiving Day, I think it stuck, that if you're grateful for what you have, you get more to be grateful for. So the first thing to do is to stop and reflect on what you're doing and find out how it is on the way, not in the way, and how it's serving you, so you don't lose momentum. And then it's wise to define what it is that you really want to do. Look at what your life demonstrates. Look at what inspires you. Look at, you know, how do you really fill your space and spend your time, and what energizes you, and what do you spend your money on, and what is most organized and disciplined, and what do you think about and visualize and talk to yourself about and talk to other people about? What do you, what is it you love learning about? Look at carefully at what your life really demonstrates and ask, what are the careers that you could pursue that are either existing or that you can create that will fulfill that? And where is it that it overlaps some real need in the world? Because you don't go very far unless you're serving people. And target that and prioritize your life around that. And then see how what you're doing now is helping you get that. Because everything's on the way if you ask the right question, because it's never really what happens to us, it's how we perceive it. And if we ask, how specifically is the job I'm in now helping me get me one step closer to what I really want to do, you'll be grateful and you'll build momentum and you'll make a transition smoothly.
Well, you know, one of the things when I talk to particularly budding entrepreneurs, if you will, or people that are in between, I'm working, I've got a job, I'm secure, but I really feel like I want to start a business. And they kind of go through this process. I'm going to leave the security and go into a very unsecure world. And that's somewhat what you're talking about, even as an individual makes the commitment or tries to make the commitment to make a change. Any advice for people as they sit there and say, gosh, I'm a little hesitant to make the jump. I'm secure, society approves of what I'm doing, but I really should be over there. Any advice there?
Well, if they are saying should be over there, it's usually something on the outside pushing them instead of what's inspiring to them, because they usually don't use imperative language if it's something meaningful to them. And the second thing is it's wise to develop a plan. You know, you have an executive center in the brain, the prefrontal cortex. That area of the brain knows how to get inspired visions and set strategic plans and execute those plans and self-govern itself. So writing down a plan and master planning out what you want to do before you make the jump is a lot smarter than just making a jump and going, oops. So I always recommend sitting down and getting mentorship. The Silver Fox Advisors is some of the greatest mentorship you got right here in Houston, and getting mentorship and taking action steps based on not reinventing the wheel and putting a plan together so you're not having to have anxieties making that transition, and then see how what you're doing now is helping you get to that next step. I really believe that all the jobs I've ever had in my life taught me exactly the necessary little piece that I needed to do what I do today. So there's no regrets. There's just catapulting opportunities from each of the steps we take.
You have a program coming up in a couple days. So you're going to give a talk in a new public talk series, Activate Your Multimillionaire Blueprint. What's that all about?
Well, so often people, I've asked thousands of people around the world, how many of you want to be financially independent? Every hand goes up. And then when I look at the percentages of people that actually obtain it, it's much less, like nearly 1% or less. And so I look at that, I go, that's a vast difference. And so I ask, what is the common denominator in people that become the 1%ers versus the people that are the 99%ers? And I'm certain that it has a lot to do with what they value. And if they don't have a value on work ethic and serving people, they don't have a value on making their work efficient where it's profitable, and they don't have a value on saving a portion of it so they can begin to invest it, and then a value on investing it and accumulating it, and then serving people in humanity with it, then the probability of them being a financial multimillionaire is much less. So the whole program on that evening is going to be dedicated to helping people wake up to what's real and then start putting a blueprint together of some action steps they can take to make them move from the 99%ers to the 1%ers.
Well, and this is, I would assume this would be true in business as well as individual. I mean, I have a business. I've been in a business for 5-10 years. I was talking to a gentleman last week, and he was saying, where do I go with this? He's got a successful business. He wants to grow it, but he has no idea how to grow. And I think a lot of that's it's a personal issue more than it is a business issue.
Well, in most cases, I think that's so. Again, it goes down to people's values, what they value. I know a woman that built a very successful business up until it reached a certain plateau. And after that, she didn't have any more goals. Didn't have a reason to grow it any bigger. If you don't have a big enough reason for doing it, you probably won't do it. And so finding out what is really driving a person, what's really meaningful to them, and making sure that it's connected and linked the careers that they're pursuing in that is important. It is a personal game. It's a game of self-mastery. A business mastery is self-mastery. I always say governmentist, which means one who can govern their mind is the one that governs their business.
Well, and I think you make an excellent point, and one that I've seen is that we personally, as we build businesses, as an individual or with partners or whatever shape and form that takes, is we have to look inward, and we have to reevaluate on a regular basis. Are we heading the right direction? Are we doing the right thing for ourselves, for our business, and so on and so forth? And so many times people get into business, and then the business just takes it over. It's just, I call it the helter-skelter of running a business, or chaos of the business. And they leave little or no time to reflect on themselves and whether they're going the right direction. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that's said really nicely because, you're the business, you're the driver. Tell me what the values of the leader is, and I'll tell you where the values of the company are going. You have to get clear about what it is that's inspiring to you, or otherwise you're not inspired at work anymore. It can take over, like you say. I've seen businesses grow until the point where the person delegated so much they didn't even know what was going on. And then all of a sudden the market changed and they were left in the dark. And so they have to stop and reflect on what's important to them and make sure that they keep a pulse on the business and make sure that they're following their heart and their inspirations. Otherwise it becomes it becomes the Monday morning blues, the Wednesday hump days, and thank God it's Fridays and the week friggin' ends instead of an inspiration.
One of the things I find on that area as far as is taking time for, again, I use the word reflection. That may not be the right word, but to think about myself and where I am. What is your advice to someone as far as do we regularly schedule that time, or is it once a year, or how often should we be taking time once we establish we want to go a certain direction that we should check back in with ourselves?
Well, I think it's wise to do in increments on different scales. I think it's wise on a daily basis to ask a simple question. because the quality of our lives are based on the quality of the questions we keep asking. What worked and what didn't work today? And start keeping an inventory of both of those answers. What worked and what didn't work today. You might as well have a checkup from the neck up constantly. A checklist is, you wouldn't want to take off on a plane without it, so you might as well run your business with a checklist. The things that you've proven to work, you build a list of it. The things that you prove not to do, so you don't have to keep reinventing that wheel. The second thing is, what are you grateful for today? What did you learn? I think that's a great inventory. It's a good reflection. And then the third is what are your customers saying? It's good to have a customer come in and actually give you feedback of what's actually going on so you're not in the dark. Because sometimes we filter our reality different than our customers. Good to get a pulse on the customer and get their feedback periodically. But I think that it's good to also listen to the staff, because the staff sometimes we think we're the ones that know it, but if we're a wise manager, we hire people that know more about it than we do. Wise to get their feedback. So I think these are daily, weekly, and quarterly feedback systems that are essential. And then at the end of the year, I like to sit down, and I just got back from Antarctica yesterday, so I try my best to reflect for at least a couple of weeks and what it exactly is I want to do for the year, and map out my year and master plan it.
That you make a good point, and I think that's something I've encouraged my particular clients and people that I speak to, is that every morning, and it could be evening, but a lot of us get up 5 minutes early. I mean, if you're one of those that rushes out the door to work or to your business, and reflect, and as you say, and reflect on the day before, reflect on the day in front of us. Some of us use it as a time to read the Bible, meditate, but I think everybody needs time to do that on a regular basis. They need to meditate, particularly in the areas that are of interest or concern of theirs, and I think we'd have a much better world, and based on what your philosophy, we'd have a much better life for ourselves if we did that.
I think you're absolutely right. Some of the most successful people I know take exactly that moment to do that. I believe in. When I was in my practice years ago, I used to come in and sit in the front reception room as if I was a patient, and close my eyes and imagine in my entire day. I'd go and look at the names of all the people I was going to see, and I just run through the entire day and think about how I would love it to be, and if they had birthdays or things I need to remember, I'd address it, and I'd run it in my mind's eye. And I noticed whenever I had a clear mind's eye that day, I had a smoother day. If you don't fill your day with high priority actions that inspire you, it keeps filling up with low priority distractions that don't. And I really think it's wise to prioritize daily actions. That's been a ritual I learned from Mary Kay Cosmetics so many years ago. That's been a useful tool. I have it sitting in front of me, and I find that that's a very useful tool on a daily basis, the checklist and the priority list.
Well, and I think you hit a word, too. I'd like to just comment on that distraction. If I leave the house literally distracted, in other words, in a hurry, I'm pressed, and all that I have in my mind is the distractions and all that's going on around me, and also tends to typically be negative. I'm late, whatever, the traffic, whatever. Then when I hit the threshold of my business, my job, if I don't let that off of me, then the rest of my day or a portion of my day is going to go absolutely the wrong direction.
Well, I've certainly seen what happens when you allow the world on the outside to dictate your destiny instead of the inspiration from the inside. That's so important, to plant flowers in the garden of your mind before you have to pull out weeds all day. So, yeah, I try my best to delegate everything off my plate. I only research, write, travel, teach today. That's it. I don't do anything else. I don't drive. I don't cook. I don't do anything else. And so I basically, anything that wasn't inspiring to me, I didn't want to fill my day with it. So I eventually figured out a way of delegating that to somebody who loved doing that. And it gave me the freedom to have less of those distractions and also get more done.
That sounds like a wonderful life to me. Well, let me ask you, as we kind of close down this portion of the show, activate your multimillionaire blueprint. Give us some information about that, where, when, and how we can participate.
Well, that particular program I have the opportunity to share on January 6th, with this coming Wednesday evening. And that'll be at 7 o'clock to 9 or so, 9:15 actually, at the Royal Sonesta Hotel in Houston, Texas. It's there on the Loop. And what I'm going to do there is I'm going to do everything I can in those 2 hours to help people realize that inside them, they have the capacity to do something extraordinary economically. And I'm going to show them how their values are dictating in creating their reality, and how they can either shift their values to have a different reality financially, or how to link things to what they're doing to the values that build wealth. Because many times people are working their whole life for money instead of having money work for them. And I want to show them how to have money work for them instead of them having to work for money all their life. So they want to go to work because they love to work, not because they have to go to work. That's the whole purpose of the evening.
Well, it sounds like a program that I thoroughly can endorse and encourage anyone. Dr. Demartini, I mean, you're a wonderful speaker. I think you've got a wonderful philosophy to share. If people want further information about that program, can you tell us where to go?
Well, I think probably the easiest way to do it is to go to drdemartini.com, and that's my website, drdemartini.com, DEMARTINI, Dr. Demartini, with just a DR in front of it. Or contact the Royal Sonesta. You can come at the door. It's a little bit more at the door if you pay at the door, but if you go to the website, that's the fastest. If not, I'll meet you at the door. And Royal Sonesta Hotel, Houston, Texas, 7 o'clock.
January 6th. I encourage anyone who's listening to the program to take some time if you've got it Wednesday evening. It's very, very worth your while. Dr. Demartini, thank you so much for joining us today, and I wish you well in 2016.
I can say the same thing, and thank you, and thank you for being a Silver Fox advisor on the planet. That's a great honor to meet you and also what you're doing, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have a little bit of information you can use.
Are you planning on growing, expanding, or possibly selling your business? All of these business opportunities require developing strategies and setting goals in order to achieve success. Providing specialized consulting in these and other key business decisions is what Silver Fox Advisors have been doing since 1986. Let us help you today. Call us at 713-343-3718. It might be the most profitable call that you ever make.
Are you paying too much for your personal or business insurance? Patricia Cooper Insurance on FM 1488 and Tamina Road is an independent agency that can shop multiple carriers to find the best rates and coverages to fit your specific needs. Call us today at 281-356-9955 and let us go to work for you. Patricia Cooper Insurance, where our customers are treated like family.
Taylor Eyes PR works exclusively to get your business noticed. Public relations is how others perceive you and your company. By tailorizing the marketing strategy exclusively to your business, your story is told. Taylor Eyes PR services include networking, social media, blogs, press releases, public appearances, and event planning. To learn about Taylor Eyes PR, call Margie Taylor at 936-828-6881 or visit the website at tayloreyespr.com. My business is tailored to yours.
Running a business is hard. Pressure to maximize profits and minimize loss continue to grow. Schooley Mitchell of Houston can help. Their independent consultants will ensure you are receiving the best communications and credit card processing services at the best prices. Most importantly, their services are completely risk-free. If they don't find savings for you, there is no fee. Contact Schooley Mitchell of Houston today to find out. Call 832-314-1815 or visit their website at schooleymitchell.com/JM
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
This is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox advisor and host of the Weekly Business Hour. Welcome you back to today's show. This is our segment, Information You Can Use Today. I want to start off with another reminder. We had a discussion about this last week with Trey Halbadier, but the 30th Annual Economic Outlook Conference is coming up in February. In fact, on Friday, February 26th, from 8 to 1:30. This will take place at the Woodlands Waterway Marriott. And I'm encouraging anyone who's listening to the program that owns a business, or even perhaps if you're thinking about building your own business, that you consider attending. It's going to be a great program, as we discussed last week. The luncheon keynote is going to be delivered by Greg Brenneman, who currently serves as chairman, president, CEO of the CCMP Capital. Greg Brenneman is somewhat of a noted character. He's a turnaround expert. He's got some wonderful business stories out there. He served as CEO of Quiznos, Burger King, and also worked with PwC Consulting. In fact, he's known nationally as the Turnaround King. So he offers some great history to us, business history, about businesses that had a good core but got into trouble. And a lot of this information, I believe, can be translated into your own business. If you'll pay attention, take some notes. The focus of this event is basically on the dynamic growth in the Woodlands and the surrounding area. And I can attest to that, as I hope you can if you are in business here in Montgomery County. And it focuses on the growth in the local economy, real estate, and infrastructure. All things that I believe every business person who does business in the county needs to know about. Why attend the conference? I think it's a great time to meet other business people. It is a half a day of your time. And if you run your own business, that's sometimes very hard to peel off and take a half a day. But you've got plenty of time to plan. It is on a Friday, and hopefully you'll plan to attend this conference. I encourage you to do it. It's worth your time and the entry fee. Attend the conference, the 30th Annual Economic Outlook Conference, put on by the Woodlands Area Economic Development Partnership, Friday, February 26, 8 to 1:30 at the Woodlands Waterway Marriott. Next item information I hope you can use is e-commerce. If you read a newspaper or a business publication over the holidays, e-commerce was in the news. One of the headlines is how much business was being done on a retail basis for Christmas over e-commerce. I heard figures in 10% plus increase in dollar sales over e-commerce during the holidays. And one of the things I hope that all of us who are in business, or those thinking to get in business, is don't think that e-commerce doesn't apply to your business, for an example, because you sell just to other businesses. I think it does. I think it's a phenomena that's pulling the internet along in many ways, along with some other things. And I think you need to think twice about saying e-commerce is important for every business in America. Every business, whether you're a sole proprietor or you're someone that is building a business and has employees, even if you're selling on an industrial level, any type of business-to-business sale, your website is important. And you are involved in e-commerce either directly, and what do I mean by that? Directly meaning that you have products or services that you post for sale and people can complete a transaction on your website. Indirectly, which affects a vast majority of us, is where people go to our website when they're looking for services or products, or most importantly, they go there when they know about our business. They've learned through it through a referral, or they've done business with you even. They go to your website to check you out. They go to the website to validate who you are and what you do. And I have found too many businesses, particularly small businesses, that ignore this fact and either don't have a website, if you can believe that, or the website they have is old and extremely outdated. And I think that you need to allocate, I believe deeply that you need to allocate a certain amount of money in your marketing advertising budget, and I hope you have one of those, each year to keeping your website, even if it's what we call a static site, where you do nothing but take inquiries with the contact button, contact us button. You've got to show that your business is in business, it's growing, it's vibrant. You've got to make people feel they're doing business with the right party, and the website is one of the ways that communication takes place. My question to you, could your website do a better job in selling your business, your products, and or your services? You've got to ask yourself that question at least once a year. And if it could be improved upon, there are so many platforms out there today, WordPress and whatnot, that websites can be produced for very little money. I'm talking about under $500, perhaps even less. A lot of them you can do it yourself. The technology has made it where it's available to every business, again, even if you're a sole proprietor. So I encourage you in 2016, if you haven't paid attention to your website, do so. Pay attention to e-commerce. Pay attention to that retail number, the fact that it keeps growing and that the stores, the brick and mortar stores, are more challenged than ever to compete. This eventually will spread to more and more businesses, even those of us who have products or services that don't lend themselves to be sold over the internet. I can tell you, recently I made an appointment on the internet to see a doctor. This is widespread. A year or two ago, it didn't exist. But now I make an appointment. I don't call the doctor's office. I make an appointment to see the doctor using a website. So beware, my friends, if nothing else. Make sure that your website is involved in e-commerce. The next thing I'd like to do is take a few minutes. I'm going to do something I don't really do on a regular basis, but I'm doing it for a business reason, and I'm going to do a review. And in this case, it's a restaurant. The name of the restaurant is Crisp, C-R-I-S-P. It's a restaurant that just opened its second location, this one in the Woodlands recently. And over the holidays, my wife and I had dinner there. And I will tell you, we really enjoyed ourselves. A great restaurant. The original location is in the Heights. They obviously have had some time to refine their system, their processes. And you would ask, well, why talk about a restaurant? Well, a restaurant's a business. It's a business model. Restaurant business, from anybody I've ever talked to, including those in the business, say it's a very, very difficult business to run. And I think of those of us who are in other businesses, unrelated to the restaurant business, can learn from the business model of a restaurant. And in this case, what are the elements I look for in a good restaurant, one that I'd come back to? First of all, they had a great menu, a menu with a lot of variety in it, a lot of interesting dishes, but also a certain amount of comfort food for those of us who don't like to make choices. They had lots of beverages for every taste, beer, wine, other non-alcoholic beverages. Had a wonderful ambience. Location was well done inside, very relaxed. The music wasn't so loud that you couldn't carry on a conversation. And they had the most important element, I think, in most any business transaction. They had fantastic service. I think this is a great example of a business that's working hard to do it right and find its own success. Now, obviously, I encourage you, if you live in Montgomery County or North Harris County, to visit Crisp. The location is on Research Forest, to see for yourself, not only hopefully to enjoy a good meal, but take a look at the business model, experience it when you're in the restaurant. See if they do certain things in a way that might stimulate you to do something a little different in your business. I encourage everyone to be on the outlook all the time for business models when you do business with a business. Particularly when you're out personally, you're traveling, you're buying things personally. A lot of times we shut down and we don't think about what's happening around us, but evaluate how they're conducting their business. You might pick up an idea, a tip that you can take back, convert into your own business, if you will, and make a real difference. It may be a small thing, but it makes a difference. It makes your business different and unique, which I think is a challenge we all face, is how to differentiate our business. And it's something you don't just do once. You have to constantly be at it. And quite frankly, in the restaurant business, they have to be at it all the time, because fantastic service will take you so far. They've got to constantly be working to differentiate their restaurant from other restaurants, because that business is, quite frankly, highly competitive. So you got to make a difference. So again, I encourage you, when you're out and about, consider having a meal at Crisp, but also look for opportunities to find ideas and tips that other businesses are doing that you might be able to integrate into your business. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to go through some business tips that I have for you, including our Silver Fox Advisor Tip of the Week. So please stay with us.
Taylor Eyes PR works exclusively to get your business noticed. Public relations is how others perceive you and your company. By tailorizing the marketing strategy exclusively to your business, your story is told. Taylor Eyes PR services include networking, social media, blogs, press releases, public appearances, and event planning. To learn about Taylor Eyes PR, call Margie Taylor at 936-828-6881 or visit the website at tayloreyespr.com. My business is tailored to yours.
SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County is a 501c3 all-volunteer-based rescue and adoption organization with a no-kill policy for healthy and adoptable animals. Our goals are fourfold: to rescue and rehabilitate homeless animals, to provide a safe haven for the animals until a suitable adoption or foster care home is found or until they are reunited with their owner, to educate the public about the great need to reduce pet population, which includes the importance of having their pets spayed and neutered, and to further the cause for humane and responsible pet ownership, and to provide a low-cost spay-neuter clinic for people who are unable to afford to spay or neuter their pets otherwise. SPCA PetSnap of Montgomery County encourages you to think adoption first. You can contact us at www.spcaofmc.com.
Are you planning on growing, expanding, or possibly selling your business? All of these business opportunities require developing strategies and setting goals in order to achieve success. Providing specialized consulting in these and other key business decisions is what Silver Fox Advisors have been doing since 1986. Let us help you today. Call us at 713-343-3718. It might be the most profitable call that you ever make.
Running a business is hard. Pressure to maximize profits and minimize loss continue to grow. Schooley Mitchell of Houston can help. Their independent consultants will ensure you are receiving the best communications and credit card processing services at the best prices. Most importantly, their services are completely risk-free. If they don't find savings for you, there is no fee. Contact Schooley Mitchell of Houston today to find out. Call 832-314-1815 or visit their website at schooleymitchell.com/JM Polio.
Are you paying too much for your personal or business insurance? Patricia Cooper Insurance on FM 1488 and Tamina Road is an independent agency that can shop multiple carriers to find the best rates and coverages to fit your specific needs. Call us today at 281-356-9955 and let us go to work for you. Patricia Cooper Insurance, where our customers are treated like family.
You are listening to the Weekly Business Hour, and this is Rick Schissler, your Silver Fox advisor and host for today's show. This part of the show, I like to offer you some business tips, hopefully that you can put into place today, in fact, if possible. And the first tip I'd like to bring out is discover a way to make your business different. Perhaps the most important marketing step any business can take is to discover a way to be different. Different is doing something like no other. Different is creating your own category. Different is exceeding people's chronically low expectation. Different is marketing your business in a way that makes people take notice. You know, many times marketers seem to be in a race. When we look at marketing, read a book, attend a lecture for sameness, and that's what leads us to low profits and feeling like perhaps our business is stuck. If you want to build a truly fulfilling business, you've got to be different and remarkable at the same time. And the tough part is you're probably already remarkable. You have a sense of that, your clients sense of that, but it's just you're remarkable at something everybody else claims. Every plumber is the same. Every electrician is the same. I know you do better work and provide better service than anyone in your industry. Your existing clients probably know that. But those are expectations that a lot of people who compete with you can boost. And I've got something for you to try and test to see if you can make yourself different. Go to your top 5 competitors on the web, if they have a website, and copy the first bit of content that you see on the website. Just write it down. Do the same for your own site. Now, on this document, blank out the names and any references to the names of the business that's represented. In other words, this is what makes us the business for you to do business with. That's what the first bit of information on a website should say. So you've blocked out everybody's name, and now compare them. Can you tell a difference? Can you even identify the business? Chances are it's going to look fairly close to being the same for all the businesses, or most all of them on there. So what my suggestion is, stop paying attention to your competitors. You need to find out what makes you different. I know you know what sets you apart, but your customers are what sets you. Have to be set apart on what matters to them, in particular your prospective customers. And that's one of the things that we discussed earlier today. Talk to your customers. Find out why they really appreciate you. Find out why they like the craftsmanship of your carpenters, okay? But what they really like is the fact that you clean up. You're very thorough when the job is done, or you clean up each day if you're doing remodeling in their home. Look for those kinds of things, and you need to weave that into your marketing message. It's easy to be remarkable, but it's hard to be different, and you need to find out what makes you different. Next thing I'd like to talk about is what happens when you Google your business name. Have you Googled your business name lately? Let me suggest several things that should happen. First of all, you should come up, hopefully, near the top in search results so that when people are looking for a plumber, an accountant, a lawyer, your name, the name of your firm, your business, pops up high as possible on that list. Because if you don't, then you don't exist. Do you have content that demonstrates your expertise? By this, I mean, do you have content out there in the marketplace, not only on your website, but have you written articles? Have you published in a newsletter? Or anyway, do you send out tweets? I know a lot of folks don't do that. Do you have a Facebook page for your business? Any way you can publish your business information that shows that you are unique, that your business is unique. You sweep up after the carpenter's finished each day in the remodeling example I previously gave. The question I ask is, all of us need to write some content at some point and use opportunities that come our way to get published. Do you do any kind of interview, such as on this show? We're always open here at Lone Star Internet Radio to talk to people. There are multiple opportunities for you to come talk about your business. I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to also have a video made. Stick that on your website. Videos are what people are looking. Do a demonstration of how to fix something or how to prepare something, or a checklist on what you need to for your taxes in 2016 if you're an accountant. Most importantly, look for testimonials. Try to get several new testimonials every year and post those on your website. Put them in as part of your letterhead. Of course, ask and get written permission from people to use them, but use testimonials. All of us as human beings are more likely to try someone new to do business with if we realize others are using them as well. And take pictures showing you in action, showing your employees in action, inside your plant or on site somewhere working. People enjoy seeing this. It's very important that you show your business in action. 3 types of people to fire immediately. I'm going to go through this pretty quick, but we're starting a new year. If you've got one or more of these types of people working for you, I encourage you to make a move. The victims is the first class of people. The ones that say, can you believe what they want us to do now? Of course, we have no time to do it. I don't get paid enough for this. The boss is clueless. If you got a victim on your payroll, you know what happens. They complain, and eventually it affects other people. You don't need victims working for you. The non-believer, why should we work so hard on this? Even if we come up with a good idea, the boss will probably kill it. She doesn't want to market it. I've seen this done 100 times around here. These are people that don't believe in your business. You don't need them. Be careful. You need people working for you at all levels who believe in the mission and what your business is trying to do, who they're trying to serve. Otherwise, it comes through eventually to your all-important customers. And then there are the know-it-alls. To me, this is the toughest class. These are the people that have answers to everything. And sometimes, unfortunately, these are people who have worked with us for a number of years. They have experience, but eventually they can turn around and start using that experience against the business, saying, well, we don't need to do that. We used to do it this way. It works better this way. And again, they create a negative attitude. These people, I would try to rehabilitate. But generally speaking, be careful, because any of these three groups of people, victims, non-believers, or know-it-alls, can cause your business to have a problem that you really don't need to have. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we close the show today, I want to give a big Lone Star thanks to our sponsor, Patricia Cooper, Schooley Mitchell, Taylor Eyes PR, and the Silver Fox Advisors. Stay engaged this week and keep your focus on what counts in your business. Next week, our special studio guest will be Shannon Dyes, President and CEO of Tax Pro Services, who will offer some tips on how to get us ready to report our 2015 income taxes. Thank you for joining us, and until next week, remember to stay in touch with what's happening in Montgomery County here on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Thank you for checking out a podcast on Lone Star Internet Radio. Lone Star Internet Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas. If you are interested in sponsoring a program for Lone Star Internet Radio, just visit us online at irlonestar.com or message us on Facebook. We are always taking song requests on Twitter, and if you are interested in getting involved with the station by either hosting your own show or if you want to be a DJ, just contact Dick at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Internet Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station.